Hello everybody, this is 99 Career here, and welcome to a Greenwich Nights update video. You know, the game I'm making, of course. And so, what have I added, and what have I redone? So let's start with the added stuff. First of all, I have added Episode 2, Stage 3 and 4 into the game now. And the main thing with these two stages is the combat system. It's very basic, but it's good enough. And so, here is a preview for both stages and the combat system. So how about I go and explain it after you saw that? First of all, you might have noticed the health bar. Of course Roblox has its own, but it's so small that you can barely notice it. So I added my own health bar, with the name of the character you play as, on the bottom right. Also, the sword itself. The sword only has 3 attacks, Slice 1, Slice 2, and the overhead. Just saying it now for later. And now the enemies. Overall in the 2 stages there'll be 3 enemies. The Scout, the Mercenary, and the Knight. There's also the Ballista, but that's more of a stage hazard than an enemy. So let's go over him. The Scout, he runs fast and attacks fast, but he does little damage. 5 damage per swing. So in groups, they can be very dangerous. But all you have to do is slice your sword once and hit them, and they're gone. Also to note, when you do defeat an enemy, they do drop an orb. This orb will heal you for 10 HP. And just in case you're wondering, the one that's planted all over the stage does not heal you. So you can only get health if you defeat an enemy and pick up their orb. Next enemy is the Mercenary. I really got nothing to say here except he does 10 HP when you get hit. He's not as fast as the Scout, but he is quicker than the Knight. And talking about the Knight itself. He is the slowest out of all the enemies of these 2 stages, but hits the hardest and doesn't get one shot. It takes 2 attacks to defeat him, unless you hit him with an overhead. So for a tip, if there's 2 knights, defeat one of them with 2 attacks, and then defeat the next one with an overhead. Also, you might be wondering, do I need to defeat all the enemies to progress? No. You can just run past them and just ignore them. Unless you're going for the score max, you're going to have to defeat them all, as the orb they drop do count to the orbs counter. So that's all you need to know about the combat. You can figure out some other stuff yourself if you really want to. And now, if you saw the Stage 4 preview, you might have noticed grind rails are in the game now. And the only thing you have to do is just get on them and you automatically move. And if you want to get off, just jump. Also, if you go back to Episode 2, Stage 1 and 2, the ballista ropes that you go across with have these grind rail mechanics. Why am I saying this? Well, wanted this for a long time, so now we finally got it. As well, I have now added some Footstep Sounds. Depending on which texture you stand on, it will make a certain sound. And if you're wondering, no, of course I did not script this. I found a video by GnomeCode about custom footstep sounds and effects, and it's very, very good. It also merges your animations if they're transitioning from each other, which backfires a little with some of the scripting I've got when it comes to air roll jumping, for example, which I try to fix the best of my ability. But if you do see Kriya or Eric do a bit of a weird animation or don't do that animation, that's probably why. Plus, as you can see from the footage of all the textures, that has significant effects from each other. So, with that being said, Episode 1 Greenlands has been completely changed. Not gameplay wise, but visually. Nice. So now instead of looking all plasticky and 2013-y, I've now just said screw it, let's just put textures on them. And so, this is now the brand new Greenlands. Also, I have changed the finish ring into a finished shard. Shard? Well, it's called finished shard in the scripting, so I'm just going to call it the finished shard. Even though it looks like a crystal or a diamond, it's called the finished shard. And as well with the end of the level, when you touch the finished shard, you now still do the animation and the end screen, but now it will be inside the level instead of another area. It might be noticeable for some people, but you definitely will notice in stages like Episode 1 Stage 5. So those are mostly the major changes and everything added. How about some minor changes? The first one is the green springs. They now have an animation when you go on them. Yeah, that's pretty minor to be honest. Another minor thing is these falling platforms in Episode 2. Before they used to just have a sound to indicate they're about to fall. Now they have a visual indicator on which one is going to fall, and you know, when you step on it. Another minor thing is the "Hey Mister" sign, now moved to over here. And just in case you're wondering what's behind it, it's mostly the boss and the next episode thing. So yeah, that's all the things that's added into this new update. So now what? Well, before I did mention a main menu, which is still not complete. But I mean, here it is. This is what it would look like. It's not the best when it comes to looks, but at least it functions. It's better to have something functional than just look pretty. But probably in the next update, when Episode 2 Stage 5 comes, I'll probably add it in, and it will be mostly complete. Here are the 5 main characters. Yes, I'm going to drop them just like that. These will all be playable, and there you go. When do you play them? Well, Kriya and Eric, which you all know, Pen, yes, that's his name, will be playable on Episode 4, Nick will be played in Episode 6, and Freddy in Episode 9. And now you might be wondering, well that's unfair, especially towards this Freddy character, as you only get to play as him at the end of the game. Well, I'm planning on adding a free play mode when the game is finished. What will it do is you can play as any character in any stage. This is going to be far away from now, of course, but I just want to put that in now, just so the people know. And also there's one more thing before I end this video, and that is I am planning on having an original soundtrack for this game as well. As well, you might be wondering, why haven't I been active on YouTube, nor on my Discord server? I'm planning on actually changing the Discord server, by the way, but not right now. But the main reason why I've stayed away from YouTube and my game is because I've been in college and learning how to create music. I understand music theory. I'm near the end of that course now, and when I'm done, I wouldn't mind posting it on YouTube, some of the songs I've created. And if anyone has a thing for music theory, I would love to get some criticism as well. And don't worry, I can handle criticism, unlike some people. But that's kind of the main reason why I haven't been on YouTube nor working on this game at all. I was actually going to end the video here, but I just remind myself I might actually redo Episode 1 Stage 3 again, as with the new movement and keeping Eric's gameplay consistent, the level is too small and compact for the speed of which Eric can go now, but that's usually something I have to worry about. I hope that's everything I wanted to talk about, and so enjoy Update 3 tomorrow. And so within that time, I've been trying to find bugs and any exploits you can use, and anything minor like texture collision. And so, thank you for watching. Play Greenwich Nights. Maybe subscribe too if you're feeling generous, and see that video from GnomeCode, link in the description. Oh, and so is the game link. And with all that, bye, have a great time. And sometimes that happens.